Hey everyone, welcome back to PokeMarketLab. Very important video today. This may go on for a little while. I encourage you to stick around. We're going to do some math. We're going to do some boring stuff, but I think it's really, really important to illustrate how important Surging Sparks is from an investment standpoint, how strong it is, how strong of a future it has. Even though we're at $200 a box point, the future is really bright for this set, and I will explain why. So just hang in there if it gets a little boring at parts here, if it gets a little long. I will try to keep it as short as I can. But the first thing we need to do is get an update as to where we are in the market on Surging Sparks. So let's dive right in. So let's get a booster box update here. Boxes are sitting very nicely at $212 a booster box. These have sold over 7,500 pieces on TCG Player alone, with a current available population on TCG Player of about 700 boxes. So doing very, very well, and about a 42% return from the low here. So very, very solid price point here. And my guess is, depending on things are going to go in the new year here, will continue to rise up as boxes start to thin out here and get cracked. And that's what this video is about. It's about cracking. Let's look at total set value here too. Absolute behemoth, certainly in the lead, and will continue to be in the lead. There's nothing previously in Scarlet and Violet that will ever hold a candle to this set, sitting at about $1,800 in set value. And that's really driven by all these really, really expensive chase cards. So we get that Pikachu EX, of course, sitting at the top slot at almost $500 a card. And then Latias EX, Pikachu EX, Melodic EX, and Hydrodon EX, all in triple digits. And that is so important for a set. And this speaks to two things. This speaks to the demand in the market, right, as well as the availability. And the pull rates are tough on this set, extremely tough. And from an investment standpoint, we like that, right? That means people are going to crack boxes to chase things, and people aren't going to open boxes and chase stuff if there's nothing to chase, right? You have multiple cards in here of a very high value, beautiful artwork that people want, and that's represented in the boxes being cracked. It's also represented in the single sales, which have been very, very strong for this set. So does Surging Sparks fit the investment checklist? Does it have beautiful cards? Absolutely. I think from a personal investment standpoint, I think if you like the cards, I think that's a good chance the market's going to like the cards. Absolutely bananas of a set for card quality and card artwork. Fantastic. Chase cards. Yeah, we have multiple chase cards. We have 5 chase cards that are in the triple digit price range that have bounced off lows, mind you, after release, which is fairly odd in the Pokemon history here. Typically, all that volume, all that opening volume from cracking boxes comes to market and they just get gobbled up. Two things happened here. Demand remained very, very high. We're certainly in a bull run for Pokemon right now. And the pull rates just meant there just wasn't as much supply of some of these better SIRs here. So the prices are representative of that. So certainly amazing chase cards. And it's not just those top 5. I mean, there's plenty as you go down the value chain in this set to crack and love. So beautiful, beautiful set of cards here. Good market sentiment. Again, market's loving this. They're loving the booster boxes. They're loving the singles, and the market price is representative of that. So aesthetics, I think this is something that is another subjective thing, but it's extremely important. I don't think people talk about it a lot. How not just the cards and the artwork quality, but the booster box, right? The logo. Those are things that we don't talk about. They're hard to put into numbers, but it's kind of like this subconscious thing that happens. It's like when you go to, you're looking at a beautiful car. It's hard to just pinpoint what it is. It just looks good. And I think we don't talk about that enough. Sets that really have good logos, good box artwork, good ETB artwork. I mean, the ETB has Pikachu on this, right? That's just phenomenal. So that's something, this definitely checks the box on that. And a good price point. If we're going to pick something up, we want to get in at a good price point. That's a little harder to come to a good consensus on for Surging Sparks. Is $200 a box a good entry point? I'm not buying at 200, but that's, part of that's because I already have a good set of these boxes stored away. I think if this market continues, this is absolutely a $500 box. I don't think there's any question about it. I would not go into the singles for an investment standpoint. I don't touch singles for investing. I think if you can get any kind of discount off the 200 that we see right now, I think that's probably a decent entry point. Again, especially if you're, someone a diamond hand, you can deal with some ups and downs in pricing. I think long term, I cannot envision the only in future I can envision for Surging Sparks where the cards in the boxes are much cheaper than they are now is a market with some kind of exogenous event, some kind of economical event, world event that, God forbid, causes some kind of issue economically, and that obviously bleeds into the Pokemon market. But short of that, I don't see it going down. I think this is, again, just look at like Twilight Masquerade at $150 a box, and Surging Sparks absolutely a better set, and it's only $50 more a box. And so I think, one of the things I want to show here is you cannot overstate how important it is to have chase cards for a set. It causes cracking. Cracking is good for the sealed population, right? That means less sealed booster boxes, and I'm going to show you that. Okay, I'll show you some math here. This is not, here, let's look at the pull rates first. So individual SIR pull rates are 1 out of every 960 packs. That means on average, it takes about 960 packs to pull a Pikachu EX, which is the card we're going to look at today. So very, very tough from a pull rate standpoint. That's why the population of these top 5 SIRs are extremely low. There's high demand, right, and low supply. It's very, these very basic economics here. But this is, really hard pull rates. So the thesis here is that a set with difficult pull rates and chase cards, we have to want the artwork, right? We can't just have high pull rates, and we have to have really solid artwork, high demand cards with tough pull rates. Okay. So I pulled some numbers from some sales channels online here. Please do not roast me in the comments. I want the thesis to kind of come across here. These are very basic numbers. This is not down to the box. This is making a lot of assumptions, but there's only so many data points that we have here. I think it's a reasonable assumption based on a couple of factors here. So TCG Player current listed pieces at about 52. Current TCG Player sold, the price tool in TCG Player is broken tonight, but last I checked it was about 350. eBay sold is over 1,800, and eBay listed is 492. Two caveats here. Number one, we do not know how many unique Pikachu cards have sold through these channels, okay? Meaning I could have gone on to TCG Player and bought one of these when it was low and sold it on eBay, and it would technically show up twice within these numbers. But I also think we obviously we're seeing only a fraction of actual Pikachu EX sales, right? You have local game stores selling them, people selling them to each other on Facebook Marketplace, other online retailers that we can't see here. So I think taking the total population, the total population of Pikachu EXs we see sold through these two online retailers and cutting it in half, I think is a very, very safe. I think the unique population is much, much, much higher than what I'm saying here. I know it is, but based on the numbers that I can see, that we can see, this is how many unique Pikachu EXs are out there. So I came up with about 1,300 Pikachu EXs. I think it's obviously way more than that, but we just don't have visibility into that. So what does that mean? So individual pull rate of 1 out of every 960 packs means Pikachu EX, the number of these that have sold the channels we've seen, represents about 36,000 booster boxes having been opened, okay? Or over $4 million in booster box sales, okay? And I think my point here is a card like this causes people to chase the heck out of it, okay? It means boxes are cracked. It means ETBs are cracked, all right? We're not even looking at ETBs here, okay? Yes, these have been pulled from ETBs, but again, I think that the fact that there are thousands of these having been pulled through other sales channels, right? I think these are some very conservative numbers. And the point here is just that people are cracking packs like crazy chasing this one card. Never mind the fact that there's many, many, many other cards here out there. So from an investment standpoint, this is absolutely what we want. And I think this is a fantastic product. It checks every single box. I think it has a very bright future from an investment standpoint. I think if you have boxes now, especially anything under 200, I think you should probably look at picking up. I think obviously if you bought and sold, or I'm sorry, if you bought and you held on to it at $100, that original, that really low price that we kind of had right at the beginning, I would just hold on to it if you can. The diamond hands are absolutely going to make money on this box. It will be. I'm confident without an exogenous economic event, it'll be $500 a box sometime in 2025. The only other thing I can see happening is, if the Pokemon Company just comes in with other banger sets, like if you have Prismatic Evolutions and we have other massive sets, maybe we have some cannibalization. There is only so much money in the market to go around, so that's a potential, that's a possibility as well. But barring that, I think these cards and boxes are going to continue to rise. It is absolutely a contender to be at the top spot with Evolving Skies. I think there's no question there. I think it's a better set than Evolving Skies. Probably a hot take, but there's just so much in this set. It's not one card, it's multiple cards. And even if you get out of the top 5, 10, 15, it just keeps going. There's beautiful artwork all the way down the value chain of this set. The other part of this is, we see so many boxes. We've seen over 7,700 boxes sold on TCG Player, which blows anything else from Scarlet Violet out of the water. What this also does, having a box that has risen in value so fast, means you have people coming in and you get all the scalpers. They're getting flushed out, right? They're selling the product. They're gone. They want to buy product and they want to go. Okay, so that means booster boxes, ETBs, anything they could have gotten their hands on. They come in, they sell it, and they go. They're on to the next thing, right? They're not going to come back in and buy at $200 a box hoping to make. That's not what a scalper does, right? This is flushing a lot of that out of the market, okay? And that's what we want. We want all the sales to get through. We want boxes to be cracked. That means in the future we're going to have less of a booster box population, and from a sealed investor, a diamond hand investor who wants to hold for 2+ years, 5+ years, this is what we want. The big caveat on all of this will be reprints, okay? I think it is a reprint candidate. I think it's, having only 3 months behind it and it's outselling anything in Scarlet and Violet sends a massive demand signal back to the Pokemon Company. We've seen them reprint other booster box mainline sets with very, soft touch. Maybe they do that here. Maybe it's a heavier touch. There's also other sets in Scarlet and Violet that need reprinting. So how much attention can they give to Surging Sparks? We don't know. And also a reminder, when we see reprints products come through distribution again, they do not come through distribution at the original price. They come through at a higher price, okay? So that automatically puts some sort of limit on the market to what the market can get for cheap boxes, okay? They're not going to come to the market at $100 a box again. Distro is going to see the secondary market and they're going to bump that price up if they get anything else again in the future, okay? And if you do see Surging Sparks reprinted and booster box prices come down, especially if they come down significantly, which I don't think is going to happen, but if they did, that is an opportunity. That's an opportunity of a lifetime. From an investment standpoint, if I see a product that is organically driven up in price, meaning really good cards, people want the cards, it's a beautiful set. It's not just investors, right? You can't say everyone buying Surging Sparks, investors, or squirreling it away is just a dirty investor, right? People are cracking this product, and we've proven that here by how many raw Pikachu EXs we've seen, right? Seeing this product having hit this price already tells me the market, there's demand for this product. There will be demand for this product, especially when it's organic at that price point. That tells me if I can get it for cheaper than that price point, they were supported that price point at one point, there's certainly the opportunity for price that supported that price point again in the future. So if I see any kind of significant pullback, I will certainly back the truck up and start loading up on it. So that's my thesis. That's the story I wanted to portray again today. I know the math's a little fuzzy. It's just kind of to prove a point here that when you see this much demand for a single card and these many cards moving through the market here, it's a good sign that booster boxes have been opened and people are chasing this card. It's absolutely gorgeous. I pull one myself. It's awesome. It's a great fan. Everyone's been there, right? Or most people. You pull an amazing card, a card either you want, maybe there's no value there, but you wanted it, And it's just it's a good feeling, and this is what we want. This checks all the boxes. It really does from an investment standpoint. It will be up there with the Evolving Skies from a long historic standpoint, and I think there's a lot of people who probably missed out. And if I missed out on this one, I'd be pretty ticked off at myself. And this is where keeping your ear to the ground, looking at previews and saying this. And this is what I did in Surging Sparks, right? This is before I was getting boxes at $100 a pop. I'm not some smart savant or anything like that. I don't have a crystal ball. I saw the previews coming. They looked amazing. And typically, if I like a card, the market probably likes a card. So I went deep on it at $100 a box. And so this is proof positive. If you do your research, keep your ear to the ground. It's going to be harder now that we have a bull run. You're not going to see booster box pre-orders go up at $100 a box right now. You're just not going to see it. Not for a couple sets. Not until they have a kind of they drop the ball on a set. You're not going to see any. You're going to see booster box pre-orders up there for a little while. So, but yeah, keep your ear to the ground. And if you think it looks good, go in on it. So, trust your judgment. And everything else will work out. So that's all we have today. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you liked this, please, again, leave a comment, like, or subscribe. I really appreciate the support, and we will see you on the next one.